I'm going to show you how to make some natural dye Easter eggs, an activity for you to do at home this week. So we've got here, hopefully, things that you can find easily. I've got brown onion skins and red cabbage. Hopefully you can see that. And also, other idea you could use is turmeric powder. There's lots of other things you can research online. But to make the eggs we're doing today, you need about 3 cups, 2 or 3 cups of worth of brown onion skins. And the same of the cabbage, so 3 cups of cabbage. And you're going to shred your cabbage just like I've done and pop it in a pan. And then your onion skins are going to go in a different pan. And then you're just going to add about 6 cups of water to each pan and then bring them to the boil. So I've got a fancy gluggle jug we thought you might like to see. So let's measure out 6 cups. 1, 2, not very gluggy, 3, 4, 5, oh, it's run out! Top up. And 6. And same again in the onion pan. All you need to do, I'm going to stir them with a spoon. Remember that we're making dye, so it's natural dye, so it'll wash out eventually, but just be aware of your clothes and things. So we're going to just give them a little stir so everything's under the water. And then turn the hobs on. And then I'm going to put some lids on the pans. Oh, that'll do. And just, we're going to bring them to the boil and then just let them simmer for half an hour. So that's how we make our natural dye. Okay, so now we're ready for part 2. We are going to set up our eggs for dyeing. So what I have done is I've gone around the garden and collected some petals and leaves which have lovely interesting shapes. And what I'm going to do with these, I'll show you how to attach them onto your eggs so that they leave an imprint on the shell. So I've got some fennel leaves here, I've got some dandelions, some jasmine flowers, so any little petals or small leaves that you think could be a nice shape to press onto your eggs. And what else I have are 2 boxes of eggs. I've got these pale shell ones, but also just standard brown ones that you'd find in the shops. And I've got some old tights. You could use clear tights, I only had black, and I've cut them up into little squares like this. I've got some thread. You could use elastic bands, which might be easier for children to use. Some scissors and a bowl with some water in it. So, how we do this, I'm going to take my first egg and I'm going to dip some flowers into the water. And that's just to help them stick onto the shell. And then, I hope you can see, I'm just going to press it down onto the shell, like that, and use a piece of some of the tights to stretch that shape over the egg. And then I'm going to pull the tights so that they're tight underneath. Be easier to show you with clear. And twist like so, so I know that my flowers are here underneath the tights, and I'm just twisting the back of the tights, and I'm going to tie that with a piece of thread. Hopefully you can see, I'm just wrapping that thread round. It's a little bit fiddly, but manageable. Being careful all the while because my egg is obviously a raw egg. Hasn't been boiled yet, so it's still fairly fragile. Okay, I'm just going to tie that in a knot. Like that. Hopefully you can see there. Just tied it together and my flowers inside like that. Lovely. Okay, so that's the procedure. So then we're going to just do a few more. So this time I think I'm going to try a dandelion, beautiful dandelion. So however you spread it over the egg, that's how the print will be. There we go. And the idea is that the dye will colour the eggshell around the flower, and the flower or the leaf imprint will be left behind. And I'm going to add some nice little hawthorn leaves on the back of this one. So the nice thing about this is they're all spring flowers for our Easter eggs. There we go. Great. So then you're just going to keep going with all of your eggs and all these different flowers and prints, and just pop your eggs back in the egg box for now. Lovely. Thank you. Okay, so we're back in the kitchen for the last, step for now. I've got my little eggs wrapped up in their tights. Hopefully you can see that okay, with the string round. So I've got 2 boxes of eggs, and I've got my red cabbage dye, which is a very dark kind of blacky colour. I'm not sure if you can see that. And I've got the cabbage still in the pan. And then over here, I've got the onion dye, which is a kind of deep browny colour. Not sure if you can see that, but you'll be able to see your own. I'm just going to give them both a little stir. Really, really dark purpley black for the cabbage. And browny onion. Beautiful colour. Okay, so for this next step, what we're going to do is pop the eggs into the pans. Now I'm going to do, I had some different coloured eggs, so I'm going to do 3 in each. So I'm just going to nestle them in carefully and submerge them fully, but remember that they're still raw eggs at this point. So I'm going to do 3 of the small ones, 3 of the bigger ones. I'm just going to nestle them in amongst the onions that are in there. Okay, so I'm actually going to poke them around just so that they're under the water. If yours aren't, you can kind of push the cabbage. You should be able to fit them in with the amount of water we did earlier. So I'm just pushing mine down because I want them to be completely covered. If they're not, you could add some more water. Mine looking pretty good. They're just about tucked under there. Lovely. You can always give them a stir as they're cooking as well. Okay, lovely. So once they're submerged, we'll just do the onion ones. We're going to turn these back on again, bring them to the boil. I'm going to tuck the onion skins around the eggs actually. So once the eggs are pushed under the water and you've got kind of cabbagey bits or the tops sticking out, the cloth tops of your tights, then we're going to turn the hobs back on and we're going to, I'm going to bring those to the boil. I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. You could do 12 minutes. So we're going to make quite hard-boiled eggs. Timer. Okay, let's do 12 minutes. No, 15 I said. No. I'm going to do mine for 15 minutes. And off we go. When the timer goes, what we're going to do, you could remove them at that point, let them cool down completely, put the eggs back in your egg box, let them cool down completely and then take the tights off. Or for a stronger colour, which I would recommend, you take the pans off the heat, leave everything in there, the dyed vegetables and the eggs, leave them to cool, and if you leave them to cool in the fridge, if you've got space overnight, you will have a more intense colour. The fridge part is like good advice for if you want to eat the eggs, but if you're not planning on eating them and you just want them as decorations, you could also leave them out of the pan, out of the fridge. So the eggs in the pan, in the water, the dye overnight, and then in the morning we'll do the reveal. So I'm going to leave mine overnight and see how they get on. Okay, lovely. Okay, so now we're ready for the last step of our natural dye Easter eggs. So my pans I've left them overnight with the dye inside. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see any of that. I've got my onion skin dye here with my eggs inside, and here my red cabbage. Not sure if you can see that with the eggs inside. So I'm going to carefully lift out. I've got scissors ready and an egg box ready, and I'm going to carefully lift out one of my eggs, ready for the reveal. So remember, the ink might go on your finger, the natural dye might go on your fingers, but it should be easy to wash off. So I've got my egg here. I need to be really careful because you can still smudge the leaf or petal imprint while the dye is wet, so be very careful. Just going to snip the tights off with some scissors and then have a look. Carefully unwrap my egg. Go. Put that to the side. And you can see here, peel. Go. And you can see a beautiful imprint on the egg. So to keep that to dry, I'm going to pop it in the sun. It's a really lovely print. I'm going to pop it just in the egg box like that. You can see there. And just make sure, leave it to dry and try not to smudge it with your fingers. So that is our natural dye Easter eggs. I'll do one more. I'm going to have a look at one from the onion skin dye now. This should be a different colour. Let's have a look at this one here. Just snip. Wow, beautiful colour. Looks amazing. So this was a dandelion. Just gonna, oh, you can see I've smudged the colour a little bit there. Just carefully lift that off. Wow. Beautiful. I'm going to pop that in there, be very careful not to smudge the dye with my fingers. Lovely. So that's the process, so have a go and I'll show you what mine look like when they're all finished. So we have the finished product. So I hope you enjoy having a go at this activity at home. You can try out different types of natural dye. Have a look online for other ideas. And yeah, have a wonderful Easter.